In this section, we'll be learning about technical question approach. We know interviews can be stressful because in addition to solving the problems, you also have to handle factors such as time limit and having the code in front of your interviewer. But because these interviews are stressful, this is exactly why you want to follow a principled approach. By following a principled approach, you can think and solve problems more systematically and be more confident. And here are the 5-step approach to technical questions. This is based on a famous coding interview preparation book called Cracking the Coding Interview. And the 5 steps listed here are: Step 1, ask questions. Step 2, design an algorithm. Step 3, write pseudocode. Step 4, write code. And step 5, test code and fix mistakes. Now let's dive deeper into each one of these steps. Step 1 is to ask questions. Technical questions are often asked ambiguously, and interviewers like to do this to see if you can ask good questions and get a clarification. And you also want to do this as an interview candidate because asking good questions can help shape the scope of a solution. So in this example, the problem that's being asked is to find the oldest person from this input. From this question, you can also follow up with multiple clarifying questions, such as, what is the data format of input? Is it arrays? Was it a hash map? And you can also see whether you need to handle edge cases, such as, can there be multiple people with the oldest age? If so, do we want to find one oldest person or all oldest people? Or another clarifying question can be, can there be multiple people with the same name? If so, how should we differentiate people with the same name? And once you have finished asking clarifying question, you can move on to step 2, which is to design an algorithm. In this step, you often want to start with by identifying the brute force solution first. The brute force solution means if you don't care about time and space complexity, what's the simplest way that can give you the correct answer? And once the brute force solution is identified, think about why the solution is inefficient and what can we do to improve it. Additional questions that you could ask yourself to get there are questions like, can you make the code run faster with more memory or helper data structure by introducing the space and time trade-off? Or like, are there any algorithms or data structures or even techniques that can help improve the efficiency of your code? Once you identify an efficient solution, check in with the interviewer and see if the proposed approach sounds reasonable. Once you and your interviewer agreed upon a proposed solution, you can move to step 3, which is to write pseudocode. Writing pseudocode or using comments can help you organize your thoughts. And if you were to do this, communicate to the interviewer that you're writing pseudocode first and will follow with writing real code. And step 4 is to write code. You want to replace your pseudocode and comments that you wrote earlier with actual code. And while you do this, don't worry too much about typos. You can always revisit them and fix them later. And once you have written your code, you want to test code and fix mistakes. Try running your code with test input. Save date run. Code fails to run or even compile. Read the stack trace and error message to see what went wrong. And once you see that your code is running correctly, write more test cases that cover edge cases or different cases to see if your solution is still correct against those inputs.